Hello, my name is Derek Pitcher. I have been asked to introduce the Director and Nutritional Advisor of this health series and to say a few words about it myself. First, let me welcome you and thank you for taking time from what may be a busy schedule to see this tape. I believe at the end of this hour, you will agree that our time was well spent. You have watched many television programs and I'm sure all of them were entertaining. But I doubt if any of them were as important to you and your loved ones as this will be. The name of our program, the Health and Happiness Program, and the name of the company, Answers for Life Incorporated, perhaps say a lot about what we're all about. Due to the seriousness and the vast amount of this material, it will be delivered in a question and answer format. We believe we have the best answers for you available today. As always, it is up to each of us to use or not to use the new facts we learn. We hope the information you gain from this series will aid you in making a correct decision. In a few moments, I'm going to introduce our director who will tell you more about our Health and Happiness program. But first, you have been invited to see this video by someone who cares about you and your loved ones. Caring about you. Those are just words until we define the real meaning of why you're here. You are here because real choices are available to you now that you may not have known existed, such as choices to live long and healthy or choose to die early, experiencing excessive pain, suffering, and huge expense and family problems. Today, you also are helping to choose which one of these lives your children will likely have. You may be able to tell by now that this video is not for fun and games, but rather one about life and death. Thank goodness it's mostly about life and really how to make it better. But early death and meaningless death is a crime. You will learn in this series how your kids are being exposed to deadly poison deliberately by some authorities and some are dying. You will learn how nearly every child today, including yours, are having their brains permanently damaged to some degree by a practice you can stop by making a different choice. You will learn how each of us unknowingly, by our actions, make the choice to end up with diseases like Alzheimer's, cancer, heart trouble, diabetes, and many more. We plan for them, we pay extra money for them, and we work hard to have them. We must look forward to having them because we often choose not to make the choice we could make not to have them. Is this your attitude? Doing nothing is also making a choice, a dangerous one. You see, others are making the choices for us now, and all they're interested in is getting your money. And for many, your good health or willingness to eat better food means less money for them. Please think about it. They are. In fact, I believe most of you have been trying to make choices now without having correct information and are suffering in many ways. You know the facts. It is true in every field. The better trained you are, the better job you will do. This is your chance to be very well trained in one of the most important fields for you and your family in the world: life, health, and happiness. The Health and Happiness Program is designed to answer the most important questions about how to live long and healthy lives, how to prevent most diseases, how to speed your recovery time if you do become sick, how incurables can become curable, how to protect your children from serious harm they now face, who is causing most of our health problems, what is the true story about cancer, heart disease, cholesterol, and salt? Do we need fiber, vitamins, and special products? What about natural and organic items? Why 98% of the population has some health problem in some way or another? Where we make mistakes and why? How we unknowingly hurt ourselves and our families now? How to maintain correct weight? How to be sexually healthy and have children if desired? How we are being given the wrong information by those who should know better. How to stop smoking, how to stop all drugs. How to really handle an alcoholic problem. All you always wanted to know about health and nutrition but couldn't trust or know who to ask. How to replace mass confusion with the whole truth about nutrition. Learn how you control your health. These and many more subjects will be covered in our series. In addition to health answers, you will get solid money saving information such as how to save 25% or more on your food bill and eat much better, how to reduce or stop most doctor and medical bills, how to reduce or stop most prescription and non-prescription drug bills, how to save money by reducing or stopping all habit-forming products, including sugar, caffeine, tobacco, and alcohol. Once and for all, you will have the true answers, unbiased and uncontrolled by money interests or advertisers. We have nothing but the videotape series to offer you. We have no food or vitamin products to sell or promote. We tell it like it is. We will step on toes of those who have helped cause this present sickness and disease epidemic in America. We don't like the fact that more than 500,000 babies are being born with cancer each year. We don't like thousands of chemicals in our food, air, water, and soil, causing most of our country's problems. We don't like high medical bills. We don't like high medical insurance bills. We especially don't like our kids, our families, our grandchildren, and future generations being sick when most of it can be prevented. Pardon the expression, but we plan to kick some butts, the right butts. We will expose those who help to cause our problems and those who could help stop the problems and don't, mostly due to money interests. They know who they are, and this series will let you and millions like you know who they are too. Then all of us will be a part of a big change for the better. The truth shall make you free. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our Director of Health and Happiness Program. He has been gathering information and learning about practical natural health and nutrition for 50 years. He is a lecturer and consultant, and you will find that he really cares about you and your loved ones. Even if you use only part of the information within this series, you will experience a better life, prevent many diseases, and save lots of money. May I introduce Mr. Sylvanus Jack Diel.
Thank you, Derek, and thank each of you for being interested in the Health and Happiness Program. Good health is special. If you don't have it, you may be willing to give all you own for it, even if you're rich. If you think you have it, you may not give a second thought about how to keep it until you get sick or it is too late. Do you know that we cause nearly every sickness, disease, or minor health problem we have ourselves? Do you know that nearly every one of these problems are preventable by ourselves if we know what to do? And do you know that most existing problems today can slowly but surely go away if you do the right things yourself? These things are what this series is all about. I am told that 98% of all adults have some health problems. Did you know that the youth of today, although they seem healthy, is setting their level of health to show up after age 30? Is there a better way to live today? How can you enjoy your favorite food and drink if you must give them up because they're bad for your health? Yes, there is a better way. Think of the real foods and drinks that exist today that taste as good or even better than the bad stuff. You don't have to give up anything that tastes good without adding something good in its place. The old saying, if it's good for you, it has to taste bad, is out. Now, nutritious is delicious, if you know what to pick. Answers to just about everything you need to know to live a better life are considered in this series. At this time, I would like to show you some sections taken from our actual videotape series. Please keep in mind that when you own the tape series, you will have printed pages of all the charts shown in these sections. Also, these sections may not cover the subject as completely as our videotapes due to editing.
Well, can you give us an example of some things that we can do to make some changes that are needed?
Yes, there's one real particular one. And during our introduction tape, we talked about it and we said, gee, you know, there's some children that perhaps are being treated in a certain way and they may end up dying. And there's children that ending up with some brain damage. Well, this is the exact subject that you've asked here. The question is that I want to cover is fluoride toothpaste. Now, today we have fluoride toothpaste. In fact, if you go in a grocery store, you can seldom find any toothpaste that's not with some kind of fluorine or fluoride in it. Now, of course, fluoride came about a long time ago, and there was some tests run in Newburgh and Kingston, a couple of cities, parallel cities, and these tests were run to find out one city was fluoridated and one wasn't. Well, before the test ever finished, they decided that they wasn't getting good enough information, and pretty soon the dentists and various civic groups were backing each other up and pushing the fluoride because they wanted it to be good. But they have never proved that any of the time that the fluoride was any good. So the main thing is that we have now fluoride toothpaste out there with a lot of claims to preventing cavities. The best tests indicate 2% or less advantage to having fluoride, if there is any advantage. And the testers themselves say that when you get down to 2%, it could go either way and you don't know one thing about it. Whenever dentists are that done the testing at these cities, they actually check these children's mouth, and they would find that even if there was less numbers of decay, the decay would be much larger. The whole tooth would be eaten away in some of the kids that had fluoride. The whole tooth would be hollowed out or ruined. The main thing I want to tell you about fluoride is that when you have your child, say you have a 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old child, and you take them to the dentist, usually some dental assistant of some type will put a fluoride material, in their child's mouth. They actually put enough fluoride in that child's mouth to kill 10 children. That is how deadly it is. Now, when Dr. Mendelsohn was at New York City, and he had a large group of over 300 dentists in one location, he asked the question to those dentists, how many of you give the fluoride treatments to children? And of course, every dentist did. Then he asked them, how many of you have an antidote for the fluoride poisoning in your office? None of them had the antidote. And then he told about a little boy that I'll call Joey right now. And this little boy had been in a dental office, and they put the fluoride in their mouth, and the little boy had swallowed a very small amount of this fluoride. He started to go into convulsions. They searched for an antidote. They were in a medical complex, not only with dentists, but with medical doctors. None of them altogether could save the little boy's life, and he died in 2 hours. That's how potent some of that poison is they put in the mouth. Now, the next thing is that we all give, or most of us, give our children the fluoride toothpaste. A small, medium-sized toothpaste has enough fluoride in it to kill a child if they would eat the whole thing. I called a major toothpaste company, and they said, yes, that's right, but they won't eat the whole thing because we put another chemical in it to make them throw up, so they would not keep down if they swallowed the whole toothpaste. So now we go into the idea, well, what is fluoride? Well, fluoride is a protoplasmic poison, and let me mention what that is. Our entire body is made up of protoplasm. Our brain cells, and of course, our eyeballs, every part of our body is protoplasm. So every minute, microscopic drop of fluoride is a deadly poison to our protoplasm. Now, second, it is an enzymatic poison. Now, our body is made up, again, of processes that are usually by an enzymatic action. Different enzymes, and sometimes 500 of them or more, have been isolated in the liver alone to perform different jobs in our body. For instance, if we would, by accident, swallow a bean, we would not find that bean floating down our arm somewhere as a blood vessel, because enzymes would have broken it down in its component parts. And every part of that bean had to have a different enzyme to break it down. And then when it's built back up into part of our body, another different series of enzymes put each of those parts together into a part of our body. So it is now, fluoride is an enzymatic poison. Absolutely kills enzymes. So now every microscopic drop, and according to Dr. Mendelsohn, 26% of the average tube of toothpaste is swallowed by children. That means they are swallowing an enzymatic and a protoplasmic poison, and to some degree it is doing permanent damage to their brain and other parts of their body. It is something we sure as heck don't really want, and we should have that changed in our system.
You spoke about enzymes. Are enzymes really important?
Enzymes are very exciting to talk about because I've understood that there's a different enzyme to digest everything on the face of this earth. If they wanted to digest iron ore right out of the iron ore, there is types of enzymes. So they're spectacular. They do all kinds of things. They help to make the lightning bug light, the electric eel give you the electric shock, the leaves to turn in the fall, and also to fall before the wind might blow. So enzymes are really spectacular. We talked about the swallowing a bean, how a different enzyme has to break down every part of that bean or every part of your food. And even another different enzymes combine all of those up into the different parts of our body. I've already told about the building, on the building lot. We've got to have enzymes to do the jobs, to do the work. If you could measure the amount of enzymes in a human body at any given moment, you would probably be able to predict how many sicknesses and diseases, that type of thing's wrong, and how long you would live. That's just how important enzymes are. With over 500 of them being in your liver alone to help to do the various functions of your body, I suspect it will be years yet before we find out all the things that enzymes will do in your body.
Well, what would you like to say to teenagers?
Teenagers are well known to me. Having 6 daughters and a couple of kids, they've all been through the teenage years, but one's about to go into it. I've seen that they seem to know everything. But later they learn that they get smarter and they learn they didn't know everything. And their parents knew more than you thought before. You've heard the old story. Well, they're also able to handle almost everything. A kid can eat wrong, he can eat all the junk foods, and he can do things wrong, burn the candle at both ends, not get enough sleep. And surprisingly enough, his youth has the ability to keep in pretty good shape up until about age 30. And then it kind of falls apart. And it's just very important that we do something to make them realize that it is that it's smarter to eat say a whole wheat product with 24 nutritional elements than a white flour product with 2 nutritional elements. That it's more important for him to have endurance and strength that he might get from the B vitamins in the whole wheat than to be without them in something else. They have to learn that the end thing is to be healthy, not to be sick. The end thing is to just do the right things and be strong and be capable of being an astronaut or anything else they want to be as a kid. And to learn the truth. They'll have to get it from parents. They're going to have to get it from schools. They've got to get it from somewhere until it becomes the natural, normal thing to do. There needs to be then government controls to take away some of the things that's really bad for our kids. I don't believe in outlawing things, but if you can educate people enough, and if you can really let the public know the truth, the public will probably make a good decision. And I'm for that. There's some really interesting things I'd like to show you on a chart. I've had a book that was printed in 1916, and it's called the Roston Health Club. And at 1916, it had been around for 40 years already. It was in its 120th printing, and they didn't even know germs existed. Let me show you a little about it in this chart. So get out your chart on the Roston Health Club. Let's take a look at that. Even though this Roston Health Club, 1916, came from a book. At that time, it had 120 printings and is 40 years old. And here's the thing that I found interesting that I wanted to point out here today. They decided to question 6,000 people. And they asked them a basic question is, and each group was asked this question, 1,000 each. There was 1,000 people in each of these groups. And it says, they asked their opinion of the value of good health. Well, the group between age 15 and 20, they had no interest. Now you're going to find today that's just about the same situation. Age 20 to 30, there was 40 of them that were interested. 960 still weren't interested. Age 30 to 40 group of 1,000 people. 600 of them were not interested. 200 wished they had been interested earlier. And 200 said it was already too late. And here's 30 to 40. At age 40 to 50, 300 were not interested but had health problems. 100 were in good health. 600 wished they had been interested earlier. They were in poor health. The ages between 50 and 60, 150 were not interested but had health problems. About 50 of them were in good health. 800 wished they had been interested earlier. They were in poor health today. At age 60 to 70, 3 said they were never sick. 37 said they were never seriously sick. 79 were in fair health but wished they had watched their health earlier. And 881 said they were fools for neglecting their health. Well, I believe we can expect a lot of the same answers today. Children or young people are actually setting what kind of an old age they're going to have today. They think it's going to be good because they can handle foods better today. They think it will be. But actually it's going to be a lot worse than most of us in the past because they have more polluted air, water, soil, foods. All these things are more polluted. There's more things that they're eating that are partialized foods, not whole foods, and they have that kind of a problem.
Well, Jack, what should they do now?
They must start living a better life. They've got to change something. If they don't change something, they're looking for the same kind of sicknesses and diseases that other people have. And so to have a future health, they're going to have to do some things. And one of the basic things we're going to do is we're going to have to substitute good foods for bad foods. And that is one of the main things of this entire program. I do not like the idea that we get a a bad food and somebody gets used to it and they say, well, gee, I just can't get rid of it because it tastes so good, I just need it, I've got to have it, I'm going to keep eating it, and it didn't kill me yesterday, so I probably won't die from it today. I mean, some kind of a thought like that. They don't realize the accumulative effect from bad foods. But again, if they taste good, you say, well, gee, I hate to give up something that tastes good. What can we do? We have to substitute something to take the place of the bad one. We want the substitute food to have at least two qualities. One, it's got to taste as good as the old one, maybe better if you're lucky. And the other one, it's got to be better for you and not do the harm that the old one did. Now, we have a chart here. Please get out your chart on the substitutes for better health.
Mr. Diel, is drinking alcohol okay? I thought alcohol was a poison to your brain. It made you an alcoholic.
Well, the literature on it, when it's studied, shows that it does not make you an alcoholic at all to drink alcohol. There's probably, I believe the last figure is 52% of the people in the United States drink alcohol, but there's only a small percentage that does become alcoholic. And so it's not the alcoholism that makes it. Now, here's a story that you need to know. If you ever would go out and pick some grapes, you will find, especially on the dark blue grapes, you will find a very light white powder on those grapes. And that light white powder happens to be yeast. It is on there so tightly that you cannot hose it off with a garden hose. You've got to rub it off and polish it to try to get it off. And that yeast is designed to be on those grapes, so when the grapes are crushed, the yeast combines with the sugars in the grape and it forms an alcohol, about 12-14% sometimes. Goes through 1,400 chemical processes, they've learned, to form that alcohol. It's a very natural thing. Now, within our body, in our liver, there is an enzyme designed there, along with as the grapes were designed by our Creator, and that enzyme is called dehydrogenase. And that enzyme breaks down the alcohol. Now, like many things, and we're going to talk Scripture for a minute, many things says in moderation. Now, nowhere in the Scriptures does it teach to get drunk. It teaches you to eat good foods and eat right kinds of natural foods and that sort of thing. It says don't add to them, don't take away. Well, alcohol is a natural food, and as long as you're eating the natural food, you will not crave it because you will have all the foods you need and you just won't crave it. It'd be no more craving for that than a glass of water or a glass of orange juice or anything else that you would drink, especially the non-chemical items. So this dehydrogenase is going to break down the alcohol up to a limit that's within reason. And that I can't tell you. I have heard it might be a couple of drinks or something like that. I am not wanting to recommend that people drink alcohol, especially people that don't drink or don't like the idea. It is not, one of those great things. But it is a type of food that as long as you have your dehydrogenase enzymes in there and you keep it in moderation and you eat a good diet, you won't crave it. And of course, I expect good moral living to go along with it, so you aren't encouraged to be drunk, or drunkenness at all.
Heart trouble is one of the biggest killers today. Any hope for us?
Oh, yes. I'm sure glad you asked that question because some of the top people in the medical field have talked about heart trouble, and finally, even the top men about heart troubles and heart information finally died of a heart attack. I don't really think that we get good information from the medical sources in the heart trouble. Heart disease is still a nutritional problem. I'd like to turn to a chart over here, and let's just see some of the connections here. I call this a heart trouble reversal, or prevention of attacks, and even prevention of stroke. So at least it gives us a little hope right here with the name of this chart. Number one says the approach is almost the same as cancer. Obviously, if we're eating bad, we may get cancer. If we're eating bad, we may get any other disease, including heart trouble. If you've had an attack, you've been to the doctor, and you've done everything they say, and don't change your diet as suggested herein, even they will tell you, expect another attack sooner or later. Usually you end up having 1, 2, or 3 more attacks, and usually die. That is the standard approach to heart trouble. So I say, see the Cancer Research Suggestions page. Now, you have that back in your manual. See the standard cancer reversal program here. Number 1, reduce the stress. We're going to talk about stress right down here. Number 2, the attitude change is required, just like in the other one. Number 3, improve the quality of the diet, and you can even see your nutritional doctor for any nutritional help that you want to get, or a chiropractor in case you've had an accident or you're knocked out of your vertebrae and you're pinching the nerves and the signals aren't getting through properly. So this is a key thing, and I want to talk about here on this chart. Number 2 says increase the protein, and it's a stress story. Let's hear the story. In Europe, many doctors over there will tell you that there is 3 levels of stress, only 3 levels of stress. Everybody goes through those 3 levels of stress, and if you go through the 3rd level of stress, you die. The European doctors agree with the doctors in America. This is the only thing that I know of that they truly agree in, that there is 3 levels. The first level is a small stress. Any lights or noise or worry and so on, just any little thing that comes along may push you into the first level of stress, maybe several times in any given day. This stress calls for protein. The body supplies it from your daily food. You better hope you get enough in your daily food. The second level is a medium stress. Maybe this is big enough to be a loss of a job, a death in a family, a divorce, or a major child problem, illness, all kinds of things. Somebody broke into your house or anything. This stress calls for a large amount of protein, and daily food doesn't supply enough of that protein. So the body must borrow from Peter to pay Paul. In other words, it's going to borrow from the heart wall or other organs. It can borrow from any place, from your bones. It can borrow from your stomach, borrow from any organ to meet the demand of stress. It is very important to meet. It has to be met. The 3rd level of stress always results in death. There is no exception. You get shot by a bullet, you get run over by a train, such amount of stress, the body cannot take care of it, and you die from a stress problem. Sounds weird, but that's what happens. There's not enough protein available to overcome that stress. Any of these bullet wounds, diseases in which you die, automobile accident, your body borrows from the vital organs, and it quits. It borrows, it tries to do it. Heart attacks are like this. It may be as much as 128 grams of protein in an hour or just a few minutes. The body says, give me all that protein, and you don't have that much. See, 128 grams of protein is the amount you'd get out of drinking a whole gallon of milk. Just about that amount of protein. Now, the next thing in your heart trouble, you have to use the proper fats. You don't want to use any margarine, no hydrogenated fats. Stay away from them. Stay away from every food that has it in there. Okay. The meat fats, limit that. Keep it down very low. Use natural butter and vegetable oils, and use the natural fats in very natural foods like avocados and eggs and so forth. The idea is to build your health with balanced meals. It is not to give yourself a lot of chemicals. It is not to starve yourself in some other way. You must keep up this level of stress. The prevention of stress. Keep up the level of proteins to prevent the stress problem. And you want to keep your B vitamins very high. In other words, the best natural, complete diet that you can. When we find that we have added hardened fats to our diet, as much as we find in so many foods today in the grocery stores and when we go out to eat at restaurants and that kind of a thing, we've actually done the very thing that gives us a bad diet. We've purposely added it. We cause our heart troubles. They aren't something that just imaginary came along, you were selected at random. No, we cause all of these heart troubles ourselves. We should not do it. We seem to be planning for it. We should expect it. And if we don't make any change, it's mostly a matter of time when one of these kind of problems comes along, whether it be heart trouble or many other kinds of diseases.
Lots of chemicals are used in our foods. What about those?
It's a sad story, and I'm very biased on it. I feel we don't need chemicals. But in any case, here there's up to, 1,000 perhaps chemicals, and according to how the combinations work, there could be easily 10,000 different chemicals in your foods. And I've mentioned that in measuring the chemicals in any given meal, like an average noon meal or dinner, can be, they've been measured 197 different chemicals used in those meals. And you can hardly buy anything. I think the real problem is not like years and years ago there might be 1 or 2 or 3 chemicals or chemical substitutes for food in our food, and we could maybe live with that and handle it. Our body is very powerful. When it's nourished pretty good, it can fight off different things, and especially chemicals. We have ways that we look at a chemical like an antibody. It's an item, a thing that shouldn't be in your body, and with plenty of vitamin C in your diet, it'll combine with that chemical, cancel it out, and get it out of your body. But there comes a time when you have these thousands and thousands of foods, and each food having anywhere from 1 or 2 up to 8 or 10 or 15 different chemicals in it, that we reach a point our body can no longer handle them. So it's just too much. And of course, what's the argument on the other side? Well, the chemical company says, look, you can eat this chemical, and we've fed this chemical to test animals, and many, many test animals have had this, and they didn't die right away. Well, they're very poor tests, and they're definitely unfair tests. Try adding thousands and thousands of chemicals and all kinds of combinations that the chemists have never even tried to work out yet. Try to put those into these foods and feed them to the animals and see what happens. Well, we know of tests that's been run in some of those too, and all kinds of things happen. All types of diseases are formed, and real problems are there. You just can't overcome it. It reaches a point that it is a quick tie into why 97% of the population has some kind of illness or sickness or disease or chronic thing that they're to be in a hospital twice a year, and there's good reason for it. I'm wondering how we can really live at all if we didn't have such a super great design on our body to be able to handle those things. So definitely, besides chemicals being bad and so many of them overcoming our own body capabilities, I see chemicals as like a fraud. It's like saying, well, I can't give you fresh food, I can't give you really good tasting food and properly nourishing food, so I'm going to make it up with chemicals and fool your body. I'm going to dump in there everything to make it look different, taste different, feel different, smell different, different colors, consistencies, everything you can name. They do anything to a food that's possible. They do it with chemicals, and it just fools all of us. It's a big fraud on the industry.
I don't understand how they can treat people like that.
Well, I would say it's for money. Now, maybe you would agree with me or maybe not, but I think money is a great motivating factor in this land, and I can't blame them. People are in business. You want to be in business to make money, but I think you ought to get it fair and honestly and without hurting people. And so I just feel that they're doing it for the sake of money. Now, here's the thing that I really am strong at. I would like to see everybody else, if they feel the way I do something about it. But I think there ought to be some kind of very, very huge national law that is very simple. It gives the responsibility to anybody. I don't care what they do. If they promote a chemical, they have the responsibility of whatever that chemical might do of harm to anyone.
Jack, what do you think about cancer?
Well, that's a powerful question in this day and age with so many people getting cancer. Cancer is good. Now, I'm going to say, relatively speaking, cancer is better to have than to be dead. And that's the thing we need to talk about in cancer. There's a process called oxygenation process. And when our body gets fouled up, in ways that we may discuss a little later, when it gets fouled up a little bit, chemicals invade our cells or whatever, and the oxygenation process, that's the normal process, won't work any longer. Our body will, to stay alive, will shift to a fermentation process. And this is just to keep alive. And of course that does mess up the cells, and it goes into this cancerous situation. But it's a lot better than being dead. So I want to answer from that point. Nobody likes cancer, and I'm not trying to say cancer is a good thing to have, but at least gives us a chance to make the correction. It's a lot better than being dead.
How could someone change back this process?
It is reversible. This process is reversible. It's not easy, and it's not very many people that even knows how, and a lot of people are even afraid to try. But as long as you can eat and utilize foods, in other words, you can still chew, you can still digest, you can still make good use of the foods, you have a chance. Again, I have a chart that I'd like to show some different points on this. It's called a cancer reversal, and there'll be some suggestions on it. These are cancer reversal suggestions. Obviously, if a person has cancer, we're going to have to change something they've been doing, because something you have done wrong. It didn't just miraculously come, there was something done wrong. So we got to change your life. And a way to do that, one, is to reduce stress. Now there's many, many ways to have stress, and we're going to be talking about stress in another chart soon, but the idea is reduce stress. It may be stress at work, it may be stress at home, you have to stop various kinds of irritations. There's noise, smoky places, chemicals, lights flashing, just about anything. You have to change how you think about things and relax. You have to change your diet. The old one got you where you are. Think about that. The old diet you had, how you were doing and what you were eating got you where you are. You must have high proteins, of quality type of proteins. This helps to reduce your stress. Increase your foods with the B vitamins. And we're talking about sources of B vitamins as liver, yeast, and wheat germ as some of the main sources. And then you have to cut out things that destroy B vitamins. And this list could go on and on. But one of those things is sugar and white flour products. Because these are partialized products, they take from your body. They take some of the B complex from your body just to metabolize them. Coffee destroys the B complex, and coffee also washes out the B complex just because it's liquid. Tea, again, another drug. Coffee has caffeine, tea has thiene and caffeine, both alkaloids. They cause a problem in your body. It helps to destroy some of these B vitamins. Even chocolate is another habit-forming drug. It has theobromine, and that's just like the tea and the coffee type of drugs. And then, of course, smoking has about 98 different poisons in smoking, and a lot of them destroy the B vitamins. Then, of course, the regular drugs of all kinds, and even drugstore drugs. Anytime you throw added chemicals in the body, it helps to destroy a lot of the B vitamins. Alcohol, again, helps to destroy B vitamins. And in fact, just drinking water. Somebody says take 8 glasses of water. Okay, it's the best water in the world. But you drink more water than you need, it washes out the B vitamins, because B vitamins are water soluble. So now we're destroying a tremendous amount of B vitamins. And you've heard the old story about burning your candle at both ends. You know, you're not sleeping your 8 hours at night. Well, don't let anybody kid you. I don't care whether you're a child or an older person. Any of these people need about 8 hours of sleep. 7 will do pretty well, but you need about 8. The little children, of course, do need more than that. There's an attitude change you'll have to adjust to. You need to be positive and not negative as much as possible. Sometimes these things are hard to do. You have to believe your body can repair itself. There is things within your body that is able to, by direction from your mind, you're able to help your body. I say help it. Some methods your body has it. Direct body's healing powers to the cancer areas. So you direct those healing powers, and many times it can be useful as long as you're doing the other things. Let's face it, you can't have a good attitude about it if you haven't changed anything. That's almost like dreaming. That's why when you go to hospitals and doctors, any of those people that say, okay, you not changed anything, how do you really expect to get well or stay well if you don't change anything? Okay? Pray for God to help you. Those of you spiritually, this could be a very valuable item. Have faith, you will get well. You can't go around very negative and dragged out and say, oh, I'll never get well, I'll never get well. It won't work. Improve the quality of your diet. Now, you eat as many organic and natural foods as possible. You cannot continue to eat all the chemicals that's in all of our foods and get bad water and everything else. You have to change some things. Use a juicer. Drink fresh fruit and vegetable juice daily because it's not cooked food. You get all these enzymes and vitamins in that. Drink the spring water. It's bottled. Some of the things that you do every day is important here. The things like you eat breads and cereals every day. You maybe have things that are in natural oils and fats every day. You have drink water and liquids every day. Pick the very best you can get. Reduce the contact with all chemicals. That could be makeup. That could be cleaning chemicals around the house. That could be chemicals around your job. You've got to reduce them. Only if you want to get well, keep in mind. Only if you want to get well. If you keep on the same thing, you may not have to. Eat the best balanced diet you can. There's a lot of what I call fattest diets out there. Eat one kind of a food, or just drink your food, or something like that. You need a balanced diet so your whole body will function correctly. When it's necessary, and if in this case, I'm sure it will be necessary, see a nutritional expert doctor for natural treatments. If you can find a medical doctor that have got several years of experience in the field of natural health and nutrition, why, of course, you can go see those. But if they don't have that, most doctors are not trained in natural nutrition. They aren't trained at any of the medical schools in the United States. There's a few extra hours they can get, so they have very poor training in it. I hope this tape will encourage a lot of them to get the right training in natural nutrition. See a chiropractor for vertebrae realignment if needed. Well, if you've been in an accident or you've just got your vertebrae messed up and it's pinching the nerves and your body does not know that some area of your body is under a stressful condition or is getting cancer or whatever else the problem might be, this may relieve that and open up those nerve passageways so that your body knows there's a problem there, and that's one of the first steps in getting it well.
I noticed that you didn't say anything about the accepted treatments like radiation and chemotherapy and surgery. Why?
Well, when someone has cancer, that's probably one of the largest problems in all their life, to have to decide to do something different than the so established treatments. But when you can think of it in its basic terms, that you caused the cancer yourself by your type of diet and the chemicals and the imbalances that's there. And then think of this way. The medical treatments cannot change the process back. Surgery, of course, cuts something out, and of course radiation burns something out, and your chemical type of chemotherapy uses a type of poison that they hope will direct right toward the item and not hurt anything else. But it's a type of poison that they use. Well, none of these actually changes this process back that's so important. Now, if you ask a doctor, "Doctor, how did I get this cancer?" He'll say, "I don't know." "Doctor, why is the cancer here and not somewhere else?" He'll say, "I don't know." You say, "Doctor, how can I cure this cancer?" And he will say, "I don't know." He has immediately erased his professionalism. He no longer is a professional, he is a mechanic. Think of it, he is just a mechanic. He's wanting to perform a surgery or some kind of an operation. Now, when you finished asking those questions, you can determine a little bit better why you might not want to go that route. Again, some of the facts. Between $30,000 and $100,000 is the cost for going those routes, the medical routes. Most of it ends up in disfigurement. It ends up with pain, suffering, problems for the family and household, and most, yet today, ends up in death. Cancer has not been helped very much at all for the past 30 years. I know it doesn't sound good, but it doesn't. Whenever you are living on chemicals, and you don't stop living on chemicals, they have an impossible job to try to cure it through medicine. You can read books. I suggest one book here that you might see is Cancer Overcome by Diet, an Alternative to Surgery. This is by Louise Greenfield. In any case, there's quite a number of books out there, some very successful ones. One of the highlights of this book that to me was interesting is throughout the book she was telling how difficult it was to find natural foods and to eat natural diets. Well, but in the meantime, she'd tell about some famous movie star or somebody else in the news that got cancer and went the medical route. And she would finally say after some period of time, "Well, I'm having a rough time, but I'm still alive. They didn't make it." I hope you're excited about some of the information presented and would like to see the complete 6-hour series. We cover 110 major areas in detail, some lasting 10 minutes or more. One example of a major area tells smokers how to quit in detail. This is the easy, permanent, no weight gain way that's enjoyable. You will learn that this approach is the only good way to stop smoking, as it corrects the basic reason that causes a person to smoke. Even smokers using 3 packs a day for 30 years, after trying many other methods and failing, have used this method and successfully stopped permanently without any further craving of tobacco. I personally believe that you can't name anyone alive who can afford not to have and use these tapes. We call our program the Health and Happiness Program. Obviously, you will be happier if you are healthy than if you're sick. Healthy children are another reason for us to be happy. But if you seem healthy now, how can we have a happiness program for you? Again, it is obvious that for some, saving 25% of the money you must spend on your food bill will make you happy. The reduction of all medical or drugstore bills will make others happy. But a few of you will need $1 million tax-free to make you happy, right? Okay, if you want $1 million tax-free, we will have to make you more than $1 million. Fair enough? I think we can do that for you if you do some things for us and yourself, of course. We want you to become one of our dealers if you like what you're hearing and seeing today. Yes, this part is a business opportunity. Our marketing plan is simple. This is the way we help people get the videotape series. It is through you as an owner and a dealer. It is very simple if you want to make $1 million. Do 3 things. 1, buy our video series and use it. 2, show your introductory video to others. And 3, sign up 20 others to do the same. Without further effort, you will pass from retailer to broker and be paid your commissions and money orders totaling over $1 million. Our marketing plan is a simple commission structure. very similar to any product sold in a retail store. Let me give you an example. You buy a stereo radio from a store for $155 plus sales tax. The store makes $25. The local wholesaler supplying that store makes $10. The area distributor makes $10, and the electronics broker makes $10. $100 goes to the manufacturer to cover all costs of production, overhead, shipping, and taxes, and it leaves him with a satisfactory profit. Our dealer program is just about like this example. We use the same 4 levels and the same figures. When you first become a dealer or retailer, you are on level 1, and you get 20 to 24 people who order kits of our videotape series. These people also become dealers when we approve their application and send them their kits. You are paid, like the retailer, $25 for each videotape kit sold. Your commission is about $500. When your 20 dealers do the same as you do, you become like the wholesaler on level 2 and earn $10 for each kit sold. Your commission is about $4,000. When their 400 dealers do the same as you did, you become like the distributor on level 3 and earn $10 for each kit sold. Your commission is about $80,000. When their 8,000 dealers do the same as you did, you become like the broker on level 4 and earn $10 for each kit sold. Your commission may reach about $1,600,000. Now, after paying your taxes, you have your $1 million left over tax-free. What do you do with it? May make all of the difference in the world. Keep this in mind. Each dealer can sell up to 24 kits to new dealers. Some may not sell as many as projected, and your final income may be much less than shown here. Sorry, you must start out as a level 1 dealer like everyone else. After that, you cash money orders. You are paid for each application for kits of videotapes instantly at the time by the person who applies to become a dealer. All other payments come from cashing money orders made out to you by other new dealers as you step into the wholesaler, distributor, and broker levels. If each dealer reaches the goals and can do it in 1 month, about 4 months from now, you could be a millionaire. At the least, you should have enough money to do some good in this world and enjoy life better. Our product tape series is the best at any price. When used, it will save anyone money far above the purchase price. Finding dealers and making money as a dealer is less important than having good health for your family. The opportunity to earn lots of money is the bonus. It provides the way for you to make your mark on the world. Make it count. Frankly, if for any reason you don't believe in natural nutrition and better health, please don't make application for our tapes. Someone will need to support the doctors, hospitals, and drug sales, and it just as well be those people. When you become one of our dealers, you will become part of our national plan to put large amounts of money, over $1 million, impossible, in the hands of those of you who appreciate natural nutrition and better health. We want to change things in America. We need your help. We believe together, and with all of us having the extra money, we will have the time and money to do the things necessary to make the corrections. Life will no longer be a struggle for survival, but will gain meaning and worthy goals to benefit our families, our grandchildren, and all future generations. In a few minutes, you will have the opportunity to study our brochure in detail. First, I would like to preview each page of the brochure, application, and order form using some charts. The Health and Happiness Program. If you've been struggling for health and wealth and the happiness they bring, this program is for you. The second page, the Health and Happiness Program. What is it? Well, it's 2 things specifically. One, you will receive the finest practical natural nutrition and health information available in the world today. It is a practical way to take the confusion out of most of the currently available nutritional information. Build health, help prevent disease, and even get well. Save 25% or more on your food bill, eat better, help your family and future generations, be happier, and enjoy life more. And the second part is you will become part of a national plan to put very large amounts of money in the hands of those of you who appreciate natural nutrition and better health. We want to change things in America. We need your help. We are against all of the pollution of our food, water, soil, and air, chemicals and everything to the point of hurting people, diseases of all types, even in newborn babies, high medical doctor and drug bills, and excess insurance bills, just to name a few. Another page of your brochure is who we are. Well, this video series represents the best information without the fattest and money interest, as well as the errors and quackery of even the so-called established health interest. When the best of man's knowledge is blended with God's nutritional plan for us, we all benefit. This is a 7-hour videotape series. The first hour is this introductory tape you're watching at this time. This series of videotapes contains questions and answers along with stories, experiences, and a vast amount of facts. It has many practical details that every person can put to use to improve their everyday life. It is our intent to give each person the how-to information in a logical and simple, easy-to-understand way that he or she can use. Although this information is not intended to be used to replace the doctor, especially in diagnostic procedures, it will, when used properly, aid in the prevention of and recovery from most diseases, and at the least, enhance your doctor's treatments. And the next page of our brochure is our plan. We want to watch real closely on this one. Our plan is both simple and easy. There are 4 easy steps. 1, fill out the application and order form and pay $25 to dealer on level 1. 2, take your application with you and within 24 hours make out 3 commission payments and 1 purchase payment in money orders as follows. A $10 money order to dealer on level 2. A $10 money order to dealer on level 3. A $10 money order to dealer on level 4. A $110 money order to Answers for Life. This will include shipping and sales tax. 3, send the 4 money orders and your application to our address at Answers for Life Incorporated, 251 Maitland Avenue, Suite 203, Altamont Springs, Florida, 32701. With this, you will get your videotapes and your complete kit. 4, in about 1 week, you will receive the complete kit with 24 applications with your name at the level 1 position. Your goal is 20 dealers. You will also receive directions on how to present this program, one-on-one and by a home party approach. Your videotapes will be included in this kit. The next page of the brochure is, how much can I make? Well, your name will start at level 1 position. You may talk to people one at a time or in groups. You collect your $25 commission from each sale immediately. Each new dealer will then be in the level 1 position and you will move to level 2. Level 2 will move to level 3 and level 3 will move to level 4. The existing level 4 person will earn the top income and will drop off. In the following illustration, we demonstrate how commissions are calculated and earnings paid. For you to earn these figures, you must sell 20 programs and each dealer thereafter must sell 20 programs. It may be more realistic to expect somewhat less money. All money orders made out to you will be sent to you as applications are processed. In this chart, we have the level, the dealers, the commission paid, and the totals that it could perhaps reach. 1 is level 1, and it's our retail position. 20 dealers is how many you would get. Each would pay $25 commission for a total of $500. On level 2 is the wholesale position. Be 400 dealers there. That's 20 times 20. And the commission is $10 each, and the maximum there would be $4,000. Level 3 is the distributor situation, and the dealers could be 8,000 dealers, each receiving a $10 commission for a total of $80,000. In the last level, level 4, you become a broker. There could be as many as 160,000 dealers, each paying $10 commission for a total of $1,600,000 for an approximate amount received to you of $1,684,500. On the next chart, or the next page of your brochure, our philosophy and belief in you. Would like for you to read this thoroughly. If you were the last person in the United States of America to become one of our independent dealers, perhaps in the 21st century, you would have spent your money wisely. The health building, disease prevention, pain reduction and money saving from food, doctor, and drug bills would pay you back many times over. And it wouldn't matter if you couldn't find anyone else to become a dealer. The best way to wealth is earning it by making available the life-saving, money-saving, pain-saving, and joy-giving information to others. This will also help improve the quality of life for many, as our new choices will impact improvements on our land, water, air, and in promoting natural healthy foods in the place of chemical devitalized foods. Think of your children and grandchildren and future generations. We believe in our product tapes, but we need you to spread the benefits to others. In addition, a large portion of our company profits will go to improve this country and our environment for our children and grandchildren and future generations. Now I would like to cover exactly how to make application and order the videotape series and dealer kit. On this application and order form, we again show the levels, level 1, 2, 3, and 4, the amount to make the checks out to, and the dealer's names. Each dealer's names will be in these 4 positions. Your name will be on level 1. $110 check, money order will go to Answers for Life, and that includes the shipping and sales tax. At this point, print your name. It would be preferred that there would be a single name here, not a dual name like a Mr. and Mrs. Prefer a single name. Print your address clearly, print your city, state, and zip. If you have a home phone number, work phone numbers, put those in. Make sure you put your social security number down here, the date, and then sign it. That single person that printed their name here, please sign here. Okay, I've shown you the brochure. If you wish to become a dealer for us, please read that brochure carefully that's been handed to you at the place of your meeting. If you don't want to buy the tape series, please return the brochure and application form to make it available to someone else. To pay $25 for the application form, fill it out, and take it with you. 3, send your application with the 4 money orders to our office within 24 hours. And 4, in about 1 week, you will receive your complete videotape kit with everything you need to be our dealer and improve your family's health and wealth. Now, it is up to you. Thanks for your attention. Ask for that brochure now. We are looking forward to sending you the Health and Happiness Program and plenty of money orders in the future. Thank you.